on the formula in a freer way that allows you to know you will always pay attention to what you're doing. You will always ask why you believe what you believe, and you will always check yourself to make sure you're remaining true and within integrity to your core vibration, your essential self. So treat those phrases more lightly, and you don't have to necessarily feel so impeded by them to be yourself and feel joy in your life and be a creative, imaginative being who is more than capable of following the formula and experiencing the ease and flow of how your life will unfold in a more natural way.
And this next question says, if people always follow their excitement, the dishes will never get washed, the laundry will never get done, and the garbage will never be picked up. How is society supposed to function like that?
That's a perfect example right there of somebody assuming that those things can never be exciting. They are having a negative definition of those things because they are believing that those things have to be negative. Nothing could be further from the truth. There are many individuals who enjoy washing the dishes because as the water, the warm water flows over their hands and they are meditating on washing the dishes, it is like falling into a meditation, which they actually enjoy. And some individuals can use that to give themselves a break, to take a moment of pause and just do something physically simple that allows them to feel more organized, allows them to feel that things are cleaner, allows them to feel in a more meditative state, a relaxed state, doing something simple as they may gaze out the window and look at the neighborhood around them while they are doing that. You have to be very, very aware of when you yourself are making an assumption that certain things are automatically negative when they don't have to be. So all of those things can still be done, and people can also invent new ways of doing those things. If it is true that none of them actually is representative of their passion, you've already invented things like machinery to wash dishes and so on and so forth, machinery to collect and process the idea of waste in a more automated way. So that's also part of you being imaginative and creative and inventive enough to do that, but cannot come from the assumption that those things are automatically negative, because assuming that they are isn't what serves you, because there are people who actually find those endeavors to be relaxing, exciting, meditative, so on and so forth, for a variety of different reasons. So the first step is not to assume that those things are negative just because you have chosen to experience them that way.
Okay, and this person is saying, I need help finding my highest passion.
One moment. We're going to add something else to that last question.
Okay.
You have to understand also that sometimes the people that do things in society, like collect the garbage, as you say, are providing a service to humanity. So it's all about understanding some of these things also, doing laundry, collecting garbage, as doing service to a family, service to humanity, service to groups. The assumption that those things are automatically negative blocks individuals from understanding that being willing to do those things is actually providing a service for certain individuals. And service to humanity is how you allow yourself to find your center in many cases.
In
Please.
fact, aren't we hardwired in the sense that being of service raises our vibration? It's one of the highest endeavors, in a sense, that you can
Yes.
offer in your reality. And you see this quite often in the early in teachings of many
Yes.
different perspectives that
Yes. But we are getting ahead of ourselves because this issue will be one of the steps coming up in the near future.
Okay.
We will address it then.
All righty. So this person is having trouble finding their highest passion, and people seem to progress in life, getting married, having kids, buying houses, buying cars, following their interests and traveling. I feel my life isn't moving anywhere. I am at the same place in life that I was 6 years ago. I know it may not be 100% true as I have grown at work. However, the other aspects of my life have not progressed. Now, when I meet my friends who have moved on in life, I feel I am missing out and I wonder what my purpose really is. I feel low at times, wondering if my spiritual practices are helping at all. That is this individual's experience right now.
Yes. Well, there's two things that we can address about this immediately. Number one is what we have always said, is that the idea of your passion doesn't have to be big things, so to speak. Doesn't have to be a career, doesn't have to be a large-scale project. At any given moment, you have a number of options available to you that are everyday things. Just always choose the one first that has more exciting, more attractiveness to it, more curiosity to it than any other choice, and do that first. And continue to do that as you unfold. Sometimes things will come along that will synchronistically be opportunities to do bigger things, bigger versions of acting on your excitement, but it isn't necessary that that happens. Because again, as long as you are always choosing what is more exciting than anything else, even on a simple level, then you are following the formula and you are having a life of following your passion. Again, passion doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be jumping up and down with your hair on fire or doing monumental things. But the idea in general is that this person is doing something where they're comparing themselves to other people, which you never should do. Because the idea is you are a unique individual. And what may feel like an expansion to someone won't necessarily feel like an expansion to you. So you have to get in touch with the fact that in talking about doing spiritual practices, that these spiritual practices include the idea of actually acting physically on the things that are representative of having more excitement than any other choice in them. Because many times people on your planet, when they talk about doing spiritual practices, are simply doing things for themselves and not for others in terms of sharing their gifts. They're not examining what they could be doing in service to humanity that is representative of being of service. A lot of times the idea of acting on your passion means you are giving something to someone else. You are actually expressing a gift that other people will find necessary to receive in their lives. So while it's all well and good that you feel you are growing at work, and that should be a signal to you of what we're talking about, because growing at work means you are doing something that is helping other people. You are being of service in the job that you do for the other people also doing similar jobs in the same business. So that should be your first clue that in order to expand your life in other areas, you also need to be doing things that are serving other people. If you have gifts to share, share them. If you need to write a book, write it. If you need to do a piece of art, do it. If you need to compose a piece of music, do it. The idea is that if you're holding your gifts back, if you're not acting on those things outwardly in service to humanity to give them things they may be waiting for you to give them, then that's why your life is not expanding, because you're not actually taking the action on the things that would be the gifts that you have to share with humanity. So take a cue from the fact that you have grown at work, doing something that helps other people, and incorporate that attitude and that behavior in the rest of your life by doing the things you are passionate to do.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
This person is asking, if I experience a situation that I don't like and I don't have the time or opportunity to immediately explore the beliefs that led to this situation, what would you recommend as a permission slip or a tool to learn a routine to switch realities faster? What can I immediately do in my mind to become more aware and learn the habit of perceiving this reality as not preferred by me and switching to a reality that I do prefer?
All right. Let's go back to the first sentence in that question. Read it again and then stop.
If I experience a situation that I don't like and I don't have the time or opportunity,
Stop. This is avoidance of looking at your belief system. Make the time. Make the opportunity. You are not making the time to look at your belief systems. You're not creating an opportunity within your schedule Keeping so busy that you can't do that is an avoidance mechanism. Because if you start relaxing into yourself and not be in such a hurry to be busy with everything that prevents you from having the time, then you are avoiding the issue of looking at the beliefs, and that's what you need to do in order to change the beliefs in a way that would allow you to experience more of what you prefer. So you have to stop avoiding doing the process of examining your beliefs to let go of the ones that don't work for you. Make the time, create the opportunity. That's the most important thing you could do when that issue comes up of a belief or a situation or a reflection that you don't prefer. So you have to incorporate the ability into your schedule of having the time to do that. Otherwise, again, you're not following the formula. You're not allowing yourself to have the opportunity to look at those things for one reason or another. That's usually fear-based. So take the time. There's nothing to be afraid of in having the time to examine those things. You're not going to miss anything else. You can allow synchronicity to be the organizing principle that will allow you to accomplish what you need to accomplish without assuming that you have to be so busy that you cannot look within yourself or take the time to do so.
Thank you.
Yes.
How can we find grounding in a reality we don't believe in? Despite being unified in oneness and having visitors showing me multiple amazing tools daily, everything here still feels like part of the collective, but ultimately meaningless. I'm completely abandoning the 3D. How do we engage with this tangible reality that feels more like a waiting room? Additionally, how will things transform following the arrival of your people?
This goes back to what we have said. Get engaged. Get engaged in service in some way, shape, or form to humanity. Then it won't feel like a waiting room. If you're waiting around, then you are misunderstanding the whole point of why you chose to be here in physical reality and have this experience. So stop waiting, start doing, start engaging, start being of service in some way, shape, or form, start helping. Now, again, the idea is whatever people do with the help you share is their business and not yours. But you have to do the act. You have to take the action that is necessary for you to represent what kind of a world you prefer to live in. Because if you did live in that world, you would be doing the things that we're talking about. You would be engaging. You would be being of service. You would be taking action in those ways. So the idea is not to abandon what you call 3D. The idea is to remember that you chose to be having this experience, and you need to remember why. And it was for the purpose of aiding and assisting in the evolution of humanity by being of service in positive ways, so you can function as a living example of what other people can also choose for themselves should they decide to do so. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get engaged.
Thank you. Is the human mind capable of
One moment.
nonlinear?
One moment. Individuals listening to this transmission may notice a little bit of a difference in the energy that we are putting out in these answers. We are encouraging more strongly the idea of taking action, of really taking action on these steps and all of the things that we are discussing that are involved in the questions that come up about these steps. Because we are underscoring and underlining the importance now of actually acting on the steps that are necessary for you to really bring about the vibrational frequency, if you so desire it, of open contact and alignment with the Interstellar Alliance. So, you will feel this energy being a little bit more, a little bit stronger in terms of encouraging you and urging you to take these steps. It doesn't mean you are being forced to do anything. It means that we are now not holding back in transmitting to you the energy frequency of commitment to the idea of taking steps of being aware enough, being responsible enough, being bold enough to stand your ground, be yourself, and actually take the physical actions and steps necessary to demonstrate what you have long said you are committed to demonstrating. It's not about sitting on the sidelines anymore. If you're really going to follow along in these steps and take the actions necessary for open contact, what we're doing by changing our frequency here is we are making this more physically real for you and underscoring how real the physical actions need to be, how necessary they are for you to really align with this vibration and let go of all the things that are not of the frequency of open contact and alignment with the interstellar alliance. So take no offense at what you may perceive as a more intensified delivery of this information. It's still up to you and still in your hands. You are free to choose with your free will whether to participate and to what degree to participate in these steps. But that doesn't mean we're going to hold back in underscoring how important it is to really stand your ground and actually take the physical actions necessary to demonstrate the commitment to understanding how the formula works. Because now it's time to walk your talk. So, please go on to the next question.
Yes. Is the human mind capable of nonlinear thinking?
Yes. But it has to be in balance with linear thinking as long as you are deciding to have a physical experience. So yes, you can think nonlinearly, multidimensionally, simultaneously, with incorporating that knowledge and awareness into the idea of whatever is necessary as a linear expression of it in your physical reality, so it will be applicable to your physical lives. So you can do both. You can balance it out.
And is reading always better than watching educational digital content?
No, it's up to you as to how to absorb information. But it depends upon how you do that, how you absorb that. For some people, reading may be easier for them to absorb the information. For others, it may be more of the digital content. It still all comes back down to what we have said about the idea of story structure being built into your psyche. So if the digital content and the books that you're reading are all structured in a way to deliver the information according to the harmonic points of story structure, then you will absorb the information. So it's not so much about the medium, it's about the way the information is delivered that makes the difference in how you retain it, how you absorb it, and how you apply it from that point forward.
Okay. And this person wants to know, how can I maintain a steady flow of income without repeatedly finding myself struggling to pay rent after indulging in purchases that excite me?
Well, you have to pay attention as to whether indulging in those purchases is actually representative of excitement or anxiety. So you have to have more deep and honest self-investigation to be able to tell the difference between anxiety and excitement. Because if you feel that you are, as you say, strapping yourself in some way, shape, or form by spending more than you have, then that may be an indication not so much of the belief that you will attract what you need, but the idea that there is a sense of lack within you. So you have to pay attention to why you are doing what you are doing, for what reasons are you spending the money that you're spending. At the same time, again, please do remember that we have discussed that there are different forms of abundance, and allowing all of them to be equal